Championship was held in Newport, Rhode Island in 1895. The following year, it moved to the Shinnecock Hills Golf Club on eastern Long Island. Those were the beginnings of the great golfing movement in the United States, long before the days of graphite shafts and metal-headed drivers. Now, 90 years later, the championship returns to Shinnecock, a course constructed by the Shinnecock Indians who roamed these sandy shores by the Atlantic Ocean. Today, ABC Sports presents a preview of the 1986 United States Open Golf Championship, featuring Jack Nicklaus.
This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by USF&G. USF&G protects your business, home, auto, and life. USF&G covers the USA. And by Ford and your local Ford dealer, who invite you to see the 1986 Ford cars and trucks. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jack Whitaker, and I'm talking to you from the first tee of the Shinnecock Hills Golf Club in Southampton, Long Island, the venue for the 1986 United States Open Golf Championship. And in this preview, we're going to try and show you why this is going to have a different look this year. This is rather a remarkable golf course. It is also my great pleasure to introduce on this show the newest member of ABC Sports and the oldest man ever to win a major golf tournament. I'm speaking, of course, of Jack Nicklaus. And of his 20 remarkable major titles, 4 of them have been U.S. Opens. The first one coming in 1962 at Oakmont outside of Pittsburgh, where he defeated Arnold Palmer in a playoff. And then 5 years later at Baltusrol in New Jersey, his white-headed putter got him home safely at the 72nd hole. And who can forget 1972 at Pebble Beach and that sparkling one-iron he struck at the 71st hole. And then once again back at Baltusrol in 1980, where he tied the single-round record for the U.S. Open at 63 and set a new U.S. Open 72-hole scoring record at 272. It's a pleasure to welcome you to ABC, Jack Nicklaus.
Thank you, Jack. Nice to be here.
And I think it's rather fitting that the first show you do for us has to do with the U.S. Open, which has been, I guess, a big part of your life. What does it mean to you?
Well, the U.S. Open is the championship of my country, and I think the biggest championship in the game of golf. And if anybody wants to win any one single tournament, this is it.
Jack, do you prepare differently for the U.S. Open?
Well, I prepare a little bit differently for the U.S. Open, Jack, in that I prepare because of the preparation of the golf course. And I feel that the U.S. Open is the complete examination of a golfer, in that you have to drive the ball straight, you have to place good second shots in the proper positions on the green, and you have to be able to play all the recovery shots. And of course, the greens are usually lightning fast and hard. And from the time that I was, 3 feet tall, I remember that the U.S. Open is the course that you have to prepare for. And it's because of that, I try to make sure that every facet of my game is in shape, and I'm not really worried too much about distance when I come to the U.S. Open. I'm worried more about being able to place the ball and use my head on that golf course. The U.S. Open is a thinking man's tournament, and I think that it's the club selection is probably the most important thing.
Do you remember how you felt the first Open, first morning? Team
nervous.
Nervous?
As most kids are, and I stood up in the first tee at Inverness in 1957 and hit a 3-wood off the tee into the fairway and made 3 on the hole. Hold a 35-foot putt.
That was an omen of things to come, huh? All right, now you're the only man in the world this year that has a chance of doing that elusive Grand Slam since that marvelous victory at the Masters. Will you approach this Open with any different feeling?
Well, I'll approach the Open here at Shinnecock Hills with a lot of interest, a lot of dedication, for the simple reason that I do have that chance. I'm obviously the only one that has that chance this year, and I've had it on 5 other occasions. I've won the Open as a second leg on one time in 1972, and this time may be my last chance to try to prepare for the U.S. Open as a second leg, and I'll give it everything I've got.
What will you be thinking about coming up here to the first tee on Thursday morning?
Well, I'll need to prepare myself for the first tee. I need to prepare myself mentally, and to do that, I think I have to go to the practice tee, go to the putting green, and not allow a lot of idle time to have a chance to get real nervous, get positive thoughts in my mind, and when I stand up to the first tee, I want to stand up here and hit a good positive tee shot.
Let's see you do it. All right?
Already?
Right.
Okay.
All right, on the first tee from Columbus, Ohio, Mr. J. Nicklaus. The first hole at Shinnecock is a dogleg right, 394 yards, par 4.
I'd like that one, too.
That was lovely, wasn't it? And as Jack starts his round, we'll be back with more of the U.S. Open preview in just a moment.
The traditional vacation in the family car. Except one thing's changed. The family car. The new Ford Taurus. One car designed to meet all your driving needs, as well as the needs of those you're driving.
Now there's an American car that has exactly what we've been looking for. For us, for us, for us. Have you driven a Ford lately?
To hit the right note on your personal computer, you've got to have the right personal printer. That's why IBM offers an ensemble of personal printers. For text, for color, for graphs, for pictures, for speed, for charts, for letter quality, for whatever you compose. IBM personal printers for the finishing touch.
Legendary Bill Shoemaker rides again. Hillmont's Kentucky Derby winner Ferdinand for the third leg of our Triple Crown coverage. Live, the Belmont Stakes, next.
Shinnecock will measure 6,912 yards for the championship, and it will present a different look from most U.S. Open courses. Its rolling and sometimes hilly terrain is pinched between the Atlantic Ocean on one side and Peconic Bay on the other, and stiff breezes constantly blow, causing errant golf shots to disappear into impenetrable rough. It is very reminiscent of seaside courses in Great Britain, a links course that follows the natural contour of the land, where everything is where it should be, and because of that, most pleasing to the eye. Jack Nicklaus is out on the golf course and has made his way to the 6th hole, which is the #1 handicap hole at Shinnecock Hills, the only hole of the 18 that has water.
First shot we're going to talk about here is at the 6th hole, and rightly so. It's the #1 handicap hole on the golf course, the longest par 4 on the golf course. As you can see, I'm in the right side of the fairway here, perfectly positioned for the second shot. The green is protected on the left by a bunker, but again, as in so many holes at Shinnecock, the real place to miss the green is in the bunker, because you can recover from the bunker. If you miss the green right, it's a very, very difficult recovery. This is the only hole on the golf course where water confronts us, and of course, when they're in the fairway, it's of little consequence. I'm 188 yards from the hole, slightly downhill and downwind, and I'm going to play a 5-iron. As in all U.S. Opens, if you're in the fairway, it's really not a problem. But here we have the U.S. Open rough to contend with. We have a short semi-rough, which, as you can see here, is just marginal, whether you get a good lie or a bad lie. Then we have the open rough. And if you throw a ball in the open rough, you come up and find your lie. Then this water here on the 6th hole that we were talking about does come into play. And your choices here, we try to take a club and try to force it over the water, pitch it out left of the water, or let's see if we can gamble. Let's take our chances. A few years ago, I wouldn't have had any problem with the shot. But, you know, for 46-year-olds, you've got to hit it pretty hard out of the rough. Well, I got lucky there. And I just hope I'm just that lucky again next week.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't love your work and exchange your pay? Who says you can't have light beer with super premium taste? Michelob
fast-filling beer.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Have it all.
Winning's easy. Give 110%, expect 110%. From yourself, everyone, everything. Speed Stick deodorant gives 110%. That's its edge. Why? It has no alcohol, and alcohol evaporates. Speed Stick protection doesn't evaporate even after 24 hours. Glides on in just a few strokes. That's 110% protection.
Speed Stick deodorant, the wide stick.
That's your edge.
By Menon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Arnold Palmer.
Let me tell you a few things the USGA will do for golf this year, with your help. The USGA will keep the game fair for all players through the rules of golf and the national handicapping and course rating systems. We'll also test equipment and balls, more than 9,000, to keep gimmicks out of the game. We'll continue work on new drought-resistant grass for your course and for your lawn. But to do all of this and more, we need your support. Become a USGA associate and make this year and every year great for golf.
Join now for only $25, and you'll receive exclusive benefits, including a year of Golf Journal, the official USGA magazine. Call 1-800-345-USGA to make an investment in golf's future.
The ninth hole, as much as any of the 18, expresses the character of Shinnecock Hills. A par 4, it will be 447 yards long for the Open, over a hilly fairway to an elevated green. Here on that fairway is Jack Nicklaus.
Here we are in the ideal place in the middle of the fairway in the ninth hole. It's a flat spot in this very undulating fairway. To reach this spot, I've either hit a driver or a 3-wood, and much like many shots in Britain, I've aimed at an object in the distance. In this case, the right chimney of the clubhouse here at Shinnecock Hills. Having reached this spot, I'm then left with a blind shot into the green. It's the most blind shot on the golf course in that I cannot see any of the outline of the green. All I can see is the top of the flag. The object here is to try to leave the ball short and left of the pin so you can leave yourself with an uphill putt. Any other shot, and particularly to the right, leaves you a very, very difficult recovery for par.
Jack is 177 yards from the green at 9, playing a 4-iron.
That should be about right.
As Jack walks up to the ninth green, we'd like to remind you that ABC's exclusive coverage of the United States Open Golf Championship will begin Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time with highlights of first day play. On Friday evening at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, highlights of second round play. Then on Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, full 18-hole coverage of the third round will begin. On Sunday, full 18-hole coverage of the final round beginning at 2 p.m. to conclusion. The 11th hole is as smart a par 3 as you will find. 158 yards uphill to a green the size of a 50-cent piece. Here's Jack on the tee.
Although this is the shortest par 3 at Shinnecock, I feel it's probably the most demanding. You have the bunkers on the right side that look very imposing. But the real trouble is long and left, because there's very little recovery from long left. You have a chance from the right to make par. But like any good par 3, if you hit the right shot, you have a good chance for birdie. The wind is a very, very big factor on this hole. Played downwind, which is a prevailing wind, the hole can play as short as a 8 or 9 iron. I have an 8 iron in my hand right now. But playing into the wind, it can turn around to go to maybe even a 3 or 4 iron. I think this is one of the really, truly great holes at Shinnecock. You think that's the right club? Pretty close? You've heard that the people of Manville are striving to be America's best supplier. Of what? of products like the filtration material that Manville makes, that makes beverages clear and safe. And highly advanced roofing systems that really keep the water out. And Manville fiberglass air ducts for energy-saving heating and cooling. 21,000 people with one goal: to be America's best supplier of products like these. That's Manville.
You take your risks in business, so you'd like some guarantees. And one thing you can count on is USF&G.
Protecting small businesses from big risks is our business at USF&G Insurance. Ask your independent agent.
We got you covered, America. We're making your hard work pay. USF&G covers the USA.
It has something to cool your face.
Thanks.
I needed that. Something to soothe your face.
Thanks. I needed that.
Something to smooth your face.
Thanks. I needed that.
Something to tone, to tighten, to brace your face. And help get you going.
Thanks. I needed that.
You're not finished shaving till you've used Skin Bracer Aftershave after every shave. It has what your face needs. Skin Bracer.
Radio Shack understands that a computer purchase is a serious personal and business decision. But what's really important is the company behind the computer. At Radio Shack, when you buy a computer, you buy a company. A company committed to technology, service, and support. We'll be here when you need us. With a telephone hotline, training, education, and excellent service. Tandy Computers, in business, for business. Tandy, clearly superior.
This is the 18th tee at Shinnecock, where all the drama will come together on Sunday afternoon. As you see, they're hitting back to that magnificent clubhouse, and many will take the chimney on the left as their aiming point. This is a new tee for the Open. It'll stretch this hole to 450 yards. And if the wind is in the player's face, as it can be, it will take an heroic effort for par. Making that heroic effort now is Jack Nicklaus.
Here, the 18th hole at Shinnecock Hills, 450 yards, is probably as demanding a hole as there is on this golf course. And as a finishing hole, it's going to produce a lot of bogeys and double bogeys. The rough is probably the most difficult rough on the golf course, so it's really imperative that you drive the ball into the fairway, because the ball hit in the rough, I don't think you're going to carry the cross bunker short of the green to have any chance to roll it in. You need to drive the ball out here to the 200-yard marker to make visual contact with the green. Otherwise, you're going to be blinded by a mound that's off to the left, and leaving yourself with a pretty difficult blind shot. There will be a lot of drives that will obviously go beyond this point, and you'll play shorter clubs. I have a 3-iron here from this place, and with the prevailing wind being right to left, the green sloping right to left, and the entrance from the right, the natural shot is to bring the ball in from the right to finish low and left of the hole. A ball long or a ball right of the hole here is going to give you a difficult chance to try to recover for par. Saying all that, I'll probably bring the shot in left to right, which is my natural shape. I'll take that. Before I hole out here on the 18th green, in recent weeks, many of you may have noticed that I've been using a larger headed putter. This is a putter designed by Clay Long, our design engineer at the factory, and Clay felt that a putter with a greater moment of inertia would be of help to a lot of golfers. It's been a great help to me. What it means is that once a putter is in motion, it has a tendency to remain in motion in the same direction. And I've had a tendency to sort of quit at the ball in recent years, and this putter has allowed me or forced me to go on through the ball and get a better roll out of it. You notice that the last few tournaments has been pretty good too. So let's see what we can do here with this putt here. Close.
Well, 2 putts is not going to get you in a whole lot of trouble, Jack.
Well, not from that part of the green. It's a pretty tough putt from the backside of the green, Jackson.
That's part of this course, isn't it? What do you think of this course as an open venue?
I think it's a great golf course, Jack. It's very different. It's one that not many of our players are going to be used to this type of golf course. It's a very natural golf course. It sort of reminds me of an inland English golf course. Many people know Sunningdale, and I think it reminds me a lot of Sunningdale. It's a lot of natural brush. It's got a lot of natural grasses. It's got a lot of trouble right off the edge, a lot of unmaintained areas. The golf course is a left-to-right golf course. Predominantly, it's going to favor a very straight driver. It's going to favor a fellow who can use his head and place the ball. It's not an extremely long golf course, yet it's long enough under windy conditions that it's going to be very testing. The greens are the kind of greens that if you miss the ball on the wrong side of the green, much like many old-style golf courses, if you're on the wrong side of the hole, you're going to have an awfully difficult time getting it down in two. In all, I think it's a great golf course. I think it's one of my favorite golf courses that I've seen for the U.S. Open, and I'm really looking forward to the tournament.
Are you talking as a golf course designer or as a player when you say that?
Well, I talk a little bit as both. As a golf course designer, I'll learn a lot from Shinnecock Hills. As a golf player, I'm going to enjoy playing the golf course, and I enjoy the challenge of it because I'm going to have to use my head, and it's the type of golf course that well, I played a lot. I love British golf, as you well know.
Of course.
And when I play golf over here, we don't get these kind of conditions, and it's going to be fun for all the fellas.
All right, thank you, Jack. We'll be back with the final comment in just a moment.
Power. I want it here. I want it in my antiperspirant.
Speed Stick has the most powerful wetness fighter you can buy. Nothing fights wetness better.
The Wide Stick.
The most powerful you can buy. Speed Stick antiperspirant.
By Menon.
Skin Bracer Aftershave has what it takes to cool, soothe, tone, tighten, and to wake up your face.
Thanks. I needed that.
After every shave, it has what your face needs. Skin Bracer.
By Menon.
Who says you can't have 100% imported hops and a less filling beer? Old world aging and a less filling beer. Smooth super premium taste and a less filling beer. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Have it all.
Legendary Bill Shoemaker rides again. Hillmont's Kentucky Derby winner Ferdinand for the third leg of our Triple Crown covering. Live, the Belmont Stakes, next.
The clubhouse at Shinnecock Hills dominates the surrounding land as medieval castles dominated their territories. It was the first clubhouse built for a golf club in the United States. It was designed by the noted architect Stanford White and remains today much as it was in the late 1890s. A graceful building with large rooms and surrounded by that symbol of quieter times, a veranda. Well, Jack, as we mentioned at the top of the show, you're the only man eligible for the Grand Slam this year. And if you win this U.S. Open to continue it, you'll be the oldest ever to win, Ted Ray being 43 years old in 1920.
I wouldn't mind that, Jack. It'd be all right with me.
Jack going to caddy for you again?
Jack's going to caddy for me. He's returning from the British Amateur, and in time to get here to do it again.
Let's talk a little bit about that foreign invasion which you so successfully turned back at Augusta. How about Seve Ballesteros at Shinnecock?
Well, Ballesteros is a marvelous player. He's probably as talented and as versatile player as there is in the game today. And I think he can win on any golf course, and certainly Shinnecock is no exception.
Bernard Langer?
Langer is basically a left-to-right player, and I think Shinnecock sets up basically for left-to-right play. Although Langer has proven that he can play right-to-left also, so it's he's a good player.
How about Sandy Lyle?
Sandy Lyle is so darn strong, Jack. I think he can play any golf course when he's right. He overpowered St. George's last year to win the British Open, and I played the last round with Lyle at the Masters this year. He's a good, strong player. I think I just pretty hard to overlook him.
How about Greg Norman?
And again, I think Norman's a marvelous player. I think he's got every shot in the game, and he's going to win some majors sooner or later, and I think it's probably going to be sooner than later.
Well, last year, T.C. Chen almost stole the whole thing. How do you think he might fare here?
Well, anybody who can get themselves in contention at Oakland Hills and can get themselves in contention again in another Open Championship. I think T.C. is a very straight hitter and pretty good around the greens, and